And welcome into this Friday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide of 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Hope everybody is doing well. Chase, I had to let that one play for a little bit. It had a nice little Latin ring to it, man. That was smooth. Again, we are presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts, as you guys can see right here on the live stream. You got to check out their website. If you're in any type of pain, whether it's foot pain, knee pain, back pain, you name it, they will knock it out in just 4 short weeks. That is clinically proven. So make sure you guys check them out and get a hold of all these benefits. I'm telling you, it's as easy as just popping them in your shoes. I'm telling you, and in tennis shoes, boots, even high heels, which I know sounds a little crazy, but they have the technology and the things needed to put these arch supports in any type of footwear. Even like me, I'm wearing some Birkenstocks right now. I'm not going to show you my feet. I know you guys have probably heard my dad talk about his all the time when he used to get them done. But I'm telling you, these things are phenomenal. They've been game changers for me. I mean, you don't have to be a former athlete. Just anybody that's dealing with pain, wants some relief, have tried multiple things that they didn't really work. You haven't quite found it yet. Just check out the Good Feet Store. The good thing is try before you buy it. Nothing to lose. You just walk on in the store. They'll take great care of you. Hell, they even had some foot massagers in there last time I was in there. Just sit back, relax. They go in the back. They get you started. They basically will show you an impression of your arch. They show you how you're going to benefit, why you might need these Good Feet arch supports, and they go on from there. But again, it's a personalized system, 3-step system that's designed to strengthen, maintain, and relax your feet, putting everything in position to help alleviate any issues that you might be dealing with. So that is the Good Feet Store. Midtown Village is where you can find them here in Tuscaloosa. But you can always go to their website, goodfeet.com, where you can schedule an appointment, find the nearest location to you. Again, they are nationwide. They just opened up a nice new store down in South Alabama. They're sending out some mailers. It's got a pretty cool picture of me on there with my looking little dapper. Chase, I got my suit on when I'm doing the sideline reporting, and saying, hey, come check out the Good Feet Store. And it's got a nice little quote from me. So clearly I love the Good Feet Store, and I want you guys to benefit the way I benefit. So you got to check them out. Don't miss out on this. I'm telling you, if you're dealing with any type of pain, you got to go to the Good Feet Store. Again, that is the Good Feet Store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. And I like what they got on the website right here. Good feet, good life. So I definitely agree with that. It is a free-for-all Friday here on the Miller's Edge. Definitely looking forward to getting into some topics. We got a number of things to hit. Got a number of things that we had on the table yesterday that we didn't quite get a chance to tackle because we had been talking about a number of things. But I know there's a lot of talk about Phylon staying in the NBA draft. Maybe we'll bring that up. We still haven't heard the interview from Nate Oates when he was at Regents Tradition, so maybe we'll listen to that. We got to get into some more basketball, Chase, especially obviously with the NBA playoffs progressing. But a lot of people are definitely still interested in Alabama men's basketball, the moves that they've made this offseason. So we will definitely try to get to that at some point. I know there's something, Chase, that's pretty interesting that we hadn't necessarily talked about in great length, but I'm thinking about bringing it back up because I saw a clip of Cam Newton commenting on this, and it was the whole Bill Belichick thing. He kind of had an interesting point. You know, we've been talking so much about the girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, which was really his point, but it makes you think about it like this is Bill Belichick we're talking about, Chase. Bill Belichick, that is in the face of all these, these stories and these news articles about this 24-year-old girlfriend, which, his personal life shouldn't really be out there like that anyways. I mean, what he does is what he does. But the fact is, it's all over the news, Chase. And what is that creating? It's creating a distraction. And Cam Newton kind of had an interesting point, man. I mean, like, you're talking about a guy who literally is like the king of preaching about distractions. That's who we're talking about right now. It's kind of crazy. So I might play that clip from Cam in a little bit and let you guys hear that because I thought it was interesting. And he was giving his thoughts on that. And we hadn't really talked about that yet. Kirby Smart had some interesting comments regarding NIL. Some people were feeling it. Others were not so much. So we'll probably hit that. Plus, I mentioned yesterday 2 things that we were going to cover that we didn't get to. There's, again, preseason, there's all types of lists coming out, top players to know this and that. Well, Alabama had 2 guys on this list that was covering one position. And the first guy leading the list is definitely going to excite you guys. But to me, I was like, dang, he's getting some true recognition now. So we'll talk about what that list is, who was on that list for Alabama. Plus, we're going to try to get my dad on here if we can, if he's freed up from riding around all day. I want to talk a little bit of NFL. NFL schedules have come out. Obviously, everybody's doing their cool schedule releases. Some of them good, some of them kind of lame. But in terms of, NFL talk, we mentioned at the end of the show, Travis Hunter you now see who his opponents are going to be for this upcoming season. And you see the notable wide receiver matchups, notable cornerback matchups. Excuse me. I kind of want to dive into what that might look like for him. And do I think, or do you guys even think we can see him recreate what he did at the college level at the pro level in the National Football League? Because when you look at some of these names that he's got to face off against, some in the same game, right? It makes you kind of wonder, like, I don't know if we're going to be able to see the same Travis Hunter we saw at Colorado or Jackson State. But I'm sure if you ask him, he's all gas, no brakes. That being said, we got to hit a timeout. That's what I got so far. Plus, one of the big things is we will hear from Justin Jefferson, hard-hitting, missile-flying linebacker here at Alabama. Sat down with my buddy Roger Hoover, partner over on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. And so we'll listen to that, get a number of things from him, and we'll discuss that, break that down. So that's what we got on the table. But we always got to remind you guys, Free for All Friday, you know that means we're going anywhere and everywhere with you guys. 205-342-9904. We want to get y'all on the phone lines, get you guys in the conversation. I see Q lined up in the chat. What's up, Q? If you guys are on the YouTube stream, welcome in. If you guys are listening on the radio, welcome in. Looking forward to getting things going after this quick timeout right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Wyatt Fulton from Tide 100.9. Since moving to Tuscaloosa in 20...
What's up, Q? What's up, Mimi? How are y'all? Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, good deal. We got my dad already on the phone lines. We'll go straight to him. We'll jump straight into some NFL talk. Good deal. You guys are in for a treat. We got the pastor paying back. What is that music? You like that? ¿Te gusta la música, Q? Te voy a hablar en español para que puedas practicar un poco. All is well. Yeah, Chase, actually, no, Chase, I think Chase can see the chat. He definitely can hear me. Chase, Q wanted to know what was that music, man. I think you're flaring up his Latin flavor. Latin flavor. Chase is confused. Nah, man, you got to remember Chase is on his learning Spanish learning journey. I can't talk. Let's not do this again today. Chase understands a little bit. Latin List Friday. I like it. I'll pitch that to Chase. There we go. Latin List Friday. I'm for it. Latin Flavor Friday. I'm all for it. No Bad Bunny. You don't like Bad Bunny? I'm not gonna lie. When I listen to reggaeton, is normally like the classic reggaeton clásico. Bad Bunny's a little bit more new, but I like Bad Bunny though. I like Bad Bunny too. Let's see. I know everybody else is like, why are you speaking Spanish? I'm trying to be better with lads, so give me some patience, please. Chasing the Fast Break Show. You guys got a show? What's y'all show about? Wait, unless that's is that our buddy Christian that called in? If it is, I'm sorry, man. If it is, I think I can't remember the name of your show, but I'll have to check it out, man. Hola, señorita. We're just gonna make Q. Maybe our goal is we'll just start that way. You can practice listening. I can practice speaking. We'll just start a Spanish sports podcast. Oh, Chase. Wait, Chase, you have a show? Chase, how are you going to have a show and not tell me? Wow, Chase.
752-9611.
Wow.
Again, that's Brian Harding.
Chase has a show and didn't tell us, guys. Guys, go check out Chase's show. How did I not know that?
This is Miller's Edge 9.
And welcome back into this. I'm going to call it a Latin List Friday for Q06. He's in the chat over on YouTube, man. He said that's a good name. We got some Latin music playing. If you guys are just tuning in or you're just learning this, I'm learning Spanish. We got a few of our listeners that are also learning some Spanish, so obviously that's where this comes from. So if you hear me just drop some Spanish randomly, that's why. That being said, welcome back in, man. We're having some fun over in the YouTube chat again. If you guys haven't already, check us out on YouTube. If you like the visual, you can see me do the show. If you see my dogs in the background a little bit here and there, if you like dogs. Plus, anytime we have interviews or things we're discussing, I can throw them up on the stream. So check us out there at the Miller's Edge. Plus, you can guys hang out in the chat with all the other listeners and get ideas going. You can drop questions, all that good stuff there. Plus, 205-342-9904 is a number. Obviously, we always encourage you guys to hop on the phone lines. It is a free-for-all Friday, meaning we want to hear from you guys. Got a lot to talk about. I forgot to mention, loaded week here, or weekend, I should say, here in Tuscaloosa. You guys softball, hosting baseball. A lot of action going on. So if you guys are in town, you need something to do, make sure you guys go check that out and support them. That being said, I mentioned some NFL talk. I'm looking at Travis Hunter, seeing who he's got matched up with. The NFL schedules just dropped. Obviously, rookie mini camps have been going on. A lot of people have been excited about the new draft picks, trying to keep up with everybody, hearing a lot of good stuff about Jalen Milroe. There's a lot of noise about Shedeur Sanders still. So why don't we go talk to an NFL veteran, a guy that you guys are familiar with, a guy that you guys have heard a lot, especially here on the show. He is co-host of the show. Just been doing some preaching and call it preaching on wheels a little bit. Welcome in the Pastor of Pain. You guys are in for a treat on this free-for-all Friday. We got the Pastor of Pain back. Welcome in.
Speaking of Spanish, hola, que pasa?
There it is. You're getting better. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Now, I guess my dog wanted to speak in Spanish, too.
The dog heard my Spanish.
Yeah.
That's not right. That's not right.
He wanted to speak some Spanish, too. But that's good, though. You're learning, though. Que pasa? That's really good. How's everything been?
Yeah. That's good, man. I am thrilled. I got finished with my biggest fundraiser of the year, my golf event, Monday, Tuesday. And, of course, it's a lot of work. We just hit a milestone, Cinco, year Cinco. And that was awesome. Had a big crowd for the VIP party, fundraiser, great music. My boy Mark Rapp and Columbia Jazz started the show, just, playing music, house music type deal. They were great. And then this young lady, Taylor Richardson from Myrtle Beach, her band, with some other singers in the band, they were amazing. Then I had my Steve Azar was here. He performed. Patrick Davis performed. Ray Boudreaux, who was a finalist in The Voice, my great friend there, was here. He performed. Naomi Marchant was a country singer. She performed. And it was just good. And we raised a lot of money. We did a best number yet on our live and silent auction. We eclipsed $65,000 on Monday night.
Damn.
And don't know what we did overall with sponsorships and golf, which happened on Tuesday. Lenore Sellers came out and played and greeted the folks. So it was a great time. Him coming out there and being around about, we had 21, 22 teams that signed up to play. That was cool. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So I'm glad that's over. I'm writing out finishing my last few checks to write out based on expenses. And then I'll come up, kind of what we did. But we will be over $100,000 of fundraising this year, which so thanks to the Lord about that. So that being said, I'm good now, man. I'm preaching on the weekends, Sundays, and I'm in Greenville on Mondays at the office at the church, and then in Columbia doing ministry work with men's groups Tuesday through Friday. So busy, but all good.
Dang, that sounds like that's good, man. You want to come host a tournament down here? Hell, I was even I was talking to Jamie about it. I'm like, there's no reason, excuse me, we shouldn't try to set something up. Obviously, we need to get like a foundation or something set up first. But man, just imagine if we could get all of our former guys come here, play some golf, and set something up like that. I mean, I think it'd be great. I don't know why Alabama doesn't really. Let me stop throwing out ideas like that. They want to talk. They know who to call.
Well, right. I can. I get you. I did. By the way, I do have to get you signed a ball because I did auction off an autographed ball with menu on it, and plus at the Alabama South Carolina game, giving away great seats for that game. It's on my birthday, by the way, and
Oh, dang.
And pre-game sideline passes and an autograph football for me and you. So that people they thought that was cool, so they bid a good little couple grand on that package. So appreciate it. You know, you contributed, but you did.
Oh, well, it's all good. It's all good, man. I'll get that signed for you if you come down here. I think you said you might head down there. So I'll sign that. Yeah, I'll get it signed. Well, good deal. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. We talked about that game yesterday. I don't know if you've seen this. I know I said I want to talk some NFL. I definitely want to do that. I don't know how much time you have, but definitely probably try to keep you for another segment if that's cool.
Yeah,
but
good.
All right, good. All right. But we talked about South Carolina a little bit yesterday, actually this whole week, for a couple of reasons. Number one, Ricky had your Gamecocks as his number 3 team post-spring top 25 rankings. He had your Gamecocks at number 3. If you look at everybody else typically has them kind of in like the teens. Probably from like 12 to 18 range. But Ricky had him at 3. We talked about him then, but then we talked about him yesterday because FanDuel, their sportsbook site, had dropped a, win totals for the SEC thing that they've got going. You know, the betting stuff. Anyway, they had Alabama at 9.5 wins, what they had them at last year, which is, pretty solid. Georgia 9.5, Texas 9.5. They had your Gamecocks at 7.5. But we went over the schedule, and in my opinion, I said I have us winning about 10 games with the potential loss down in Columbia, even though it hurts me to say that. When you see your Gamecocks, you got a 7.5, expectation. I don't know what you call it. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on that? And tell me what your thoughts are right now. I know it's way too early, but you're looking at this game coming up. You said it's on your birthday. How do you think that plays out in Columbia with Alabama on the road?
First of all, it's that time of the year. It's the dog days of summer. We're getting ready to fall into summer, and we got to find talking points. We got to find, the hypotheticals. We got to find these things. I don't really pay much attention to that. You're right. We talked about we did a whole summer last year about 9.5 and those, 8.5, whatever. Most people, a lot of the homers, the chap stickers were on 11.5. But here's the thing. I don't care much about that. I know I spend time with Lenore. So I understand what's happening at this program. We know that this team, they won 9 games last year, and people had them winning 5, 6 games, right? And they won 9. So this team could be a double-digit win team, or they could be a 6, 7 win team. It just depends on injuries, and a lot of factors go into that. Now, but when you talk about what they have at South Carolina, one, they have the most important position covered. That's at quarterback, right? And Lenore is ranked top 3 quarterback in the country right now. If you're looking at that, again, as I would tell him and his people, like that's good. But the bottom line is you got to go play like a top 3 quarterback, and he knows that. And that's one of the things that I will be preaching to him is to just stay focused, don't silence all that noise. But they added a lot of great pieces through the transfer portal. South Carolina has to do that. They're not Alabama where they have that name and the stigma and everything else that goes along with that. With college football, they have to go to the portal. They have to plug and play, right? And at the same time, get the best in-state talent that they can get, and then hit those areas like the D.C. area where they're very good. Dylan Stewart came from that area. Nicholas Harbor, 5-star receiver, came from that area. So they got those guys they go in and pluck out as well. So they are loaded with talent, man. South Carolina, they are loaded with talent. And the person told me after the spring game, he's like, listen, this team got everything that they need. Now, they lost a couple of pieces of offensive linemen in the transfer portal, but they're going to be a good team. And then, again, but to me, that's the injury plays a big factor into that. And, looking at that matchup in October, you just don't know. Alabama's going to be Alabama, but my biggest question with them, as I've said all along, is we don't even know. We think we know. That Ty Simpson is going to be the quarterback, but we don't know how good he's going to be, how high or what level he can play at. So, there's a lot of different question marks right now, I think, at Alabama than South Carolina. So, but so much can happen between what happens in the summer. How many freshmen are going to come in, going to be able to contribute. Those guys that have been there, what Will Ty Simpson, will some of those guys take it to the next level? Will Ryan go to a whole nother level at the receiver? Will somebody else step up and become a consistent 2 and 3? So you got all of that, with Kane Proctor. He's slated to be a first-round pick. We've been saying that for 2 years. One, based on size and his potential, his upside. Yeah, he looks like that, but he has to go out and play like that. Will he be much better? So they don't have a Miro back there that could escape and extend plays. So there's a lot of question marks there, but we'll see, man. What is year 2 going to look like for Kalen DeBoer? That's what I'm very interested in. I know he cut some things out. He's not going to let Mr. Willie come around there and be drunk and break down the team. He's learned his lessons. That honeymoon era is over. Now it's about, okay, bro, what can you do? Will you be hard on these guys? Will you get the respect from these guys in the locker room? Will they be on time? Will they be just in meetings and, that type of thing? So I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do, really, because I think he was part of the problem. I like Kalen DeBoer a lot. Love meeting him and going to practice, and I think he's a great coach, but he failed in year number 1, if you ask me. I mean, if I would give him a grade, it would be a failing grade, or I would give him a D. If and I know you say, oh, he wasn't 9 games, but yeah, because anybody, Christian, I could have came in there and coached that team and won 9 games. And I would think I would have won more games because I wouldn't have allowed the stuff that he allowed, being late for meetings, letting the prisoners run the asylum. I wouldn't have allowed that. They would have been, there's been more strict around the program. I wouldn't have allowed radio podcast people coming into my building and doing, I wouldn't have allowed any of that, right? We'd have been I'd have been more on the Nick Saban side of things, and we're going to focus on the process. I'm just being honest, because I know they had the talent, and I know how to maximize talent, but I sure wouldn't have allowed guys just to have a freedom of relaxation around the program. That wouldn't have happened. But to me, based on what they had in the cupboard, based on the quarterback that they had, the running backs that they had, big time potential at wide receiver and offensive line had a first rounder, got a potential first rounder this year. I mean, come on, bro. A defense that had the most question marks, but they got a high draft pick in Jahad Campbell, who I thought one of the best linebackers in the country. I've been saying that for a long time, and he was. I mean, so to me, Kalen DeBoer, and I'm not saying this to try to get your phone lines blown up, but I'm just being honest, is to me, he deserved I won't give him an F, but I will give him a D. I will give him a D just based on winning the only 9, whatever they won, and then losing. Let me remind people of this one. Losing to Vanderbilt, losing in a bowl game to an average Michigan team, a team that just knocked you out of the Final Four 2 years ago, whatever it's been, and then you lose and been dominated in the trenches by an average Michigan team. So to me, you had to slip up during the season and losing to Vanderbilt, and then you went into a bowl game and looked bad. Looked like that this team was more physical, more dominant than you were. And so to me, that's on the coaching staff. And so, yeah, I would definitely give him a D. I mean, by the standards based on South Carolina, he'd been a B plus, because they don't win 9 games quite often. So but this is Alabama. 9 games don't work. You win 9 games this year, his third year will be a make or break for Kalen DeBoer. He won't last if he just keep winning 9 games. He'll be gone back to the West Coast, coaching Washington State, coaching one of the West Coast teams, whatever. He had to start back over again. But 9 games won't be good enough for Alabama. I mean, that's the type of pressure he's under. That's why you're going to see, I think, changes in the program. You're going to see a more sternness. You're going to see more attention to detail. You're going to see they're going to hold players accountable. They're not going to let guys just stay out there that's not playing well. I think you're going to, because he understands the pressure is on. And where I'm from, where we from, they have a saying that pressure busts pipes. And a lot of pressure keeps coming. That pressure is going to eventually burst. And that's where he's at right now.
Man, that's a lot to unpack there. Let me give you a little pushback, Chase. We'll just combine breaks here, man. Because
Okay.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because we gotta discuss this. Oh, where do we start? All right. So I'll tell you this. So I know you mentioned the receivers. You brought those guys up. Is there going to be a reliable number 2 and number 3? Well, I'm gonna catch you up to speed. I know you've been busy this spring. I've been up there. I watched these guys. I'm not trying to chapstick. I know you're going to immediately give me pushback, but I'm just going to tell you right now. They have a legit 2 and 3 easily, right? If anything, they really got a whole 4 and 5 if you really want to look at the whole depth chart there. Jeremy Bernard, man, I mean, who actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think he might have had a couple more yards than Ryan. I mean, they were right neck and neck. Jeremy had like 794 yards last year receiving, 2 touchdowns. And to see him this spring, he really is going to take that next step, right? So, I mean, you can pencil him in as a sure number 2 guy right there. Could take over as number 1. I watched him in the scrimmage as a number 1 with Ryan Williams out. He's banged up, and Jeremy was that number 1 guy, and he was dominate, right? Now, I know we were a little nicked up in the secondary still, but still really impressive. So, you got him, but then Isaiah Horton, I don't know if you're familiar with his game, but he transferred from Miami. I was patient on. A lot of people were, parading when he transferred in, and I was like, well, let me see him first. I watched on tape. I'm like, yeah, no, he looks pretty good. But putting my eyes on him, I will tell you, he is a really, really good player. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's 6'2", 6'3"-ish, nice, stature where he's not skinny. I mean, he's got good size to him, but very fluid. Is really, strong, runs good routes, and those are going to be your top 3 guys. And then you hadn't even gotten down to, the Cole Adams, Mr. Reliable. You still got Jalen Hale, who we talked about on the show. We were really impressed with him before his injury. He's coming back. He looks really good. And Bakwe transferred to that side of the football. I don't know how many snaps he's going to get, but you talk about a really good athlete. And then you haven't seen this guy or heard about him, but you got a kid named Latsier Brooks, man, who is a true freshman. And I, again, was patient. Everybody was talking about, oh, this guy looks like Waddle. I'm like, yeah, y'all are saying that because you see that he's wears number 17. He's small and quick. No, I saw him his first day of spring practice and watched him make a couple plays that I said, oh, damn. And I was talking to, one of the guys in the building, and he was like, yeah, man, we got the right guy in him. And so they got I'll be honest with you, this receiver room compared to last year is night and days different. So that is solid. Ty's looked really good this spring. Obviously, he still needs to keep, progressing, keep doing his thing, but he's the guy. It's his job to beat. Russell looks good. You can definitely tell he's still a freshman. For every great play he makes, he still has, a freshman mistake here and there. That's typical. Highest upside of all those guys, but I think for this year, Ty is your guy unless something comes up mid-season. I don't know, but I fully expect Ty to be the guy. In terms of the offensive line, you mentioned Proctor. I'm with you. I see the first round stuff. I saw somebody even mock him as number 1. I said, that's not happening. Not number 1 overall. First rounder, I do think that because we've been saying that. You talk about potential offensive linemen are hard to come by. His combination of his size and athleticism. I know he's struggled with those speed rushers, but he's pretty athletic for his size. I think if he gets in a little bit better shape, takes another step this year, he definitely sees his name or hears his name called in that first round. But like you said, he's got to go out there and do it. I will say, looking at the offensive line, they're looking to bolster up. They got a kid that transferred from A&M to replace that Booker at left guard. Brailsford's back. I think Brailsford's one of the top centers in the country without a doubt. I like Jaden Roberts, tough physical guy, right guard. Right tackle, you're expecting Formby to finally take that step to be the guy. They've got some other guys rotating and getting experience at tackle. So I think that's still the big question mark for me, right tackle. And I keep saying the offensive line is going to be the key to the success of the offense, number 1, but definitely even this team, because you mentioned defense. They had a solid defense last year. I believe there was the best ranked defense since 2017. A lot of guys return. I still want to see some guys step up as true pass rush threats. But you're talking about your 2 linebackers return. You lose a lot of production out of Campbell, but you do get Justin Jefferson back, who I think is going to take a big step this year. You get Deontay Lawson back coming off injury, but he's a good veteran presence, a leader, a captain, and that's going to be a big time return. That being said, I think you are being a little tough on him. I think you are being tough on him, and that's fine. And I think a lot of no. I'm saying no, and I say this. I think a D is a little harsh because with all the factors, all the variables, it was a lot going on. And I do know when you do take on that role, I get what you're saying in terms of, oh, well, I would have kind of continued, what Coach Saban was doing, but at the same time, that's not him. That's not his style. And I don't think he should have tried to be somebody he's not. That being said, I do think there was a little bit too much of that looseness around the program at times. Again, I'm not being judgmental. That's just my opinion. I think that probably hurt them a little bit, if I'm just being completely transparent.
I'm being judgmental.
Yeah. Okay. Easy, man. But that being said, I do feel like year 2, it's already felt different. I think the buy-in is better. Like, you used to joke around about the substitute teacher thing, but I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Like, there is some truth to guys not being fully bought in. And if people don't believe that, you can go back and listen to, I think it was Brailsford. Brailsford had done he did like a post-practice interview, and he made a comment like, the buy-in is a lot higher. Guys are actually finally buying into kind of, Coach DeBoer and what he's bringing to the table. So we knew that was the case. People didn't want to hear that, but it was. But I think this year, just seeing these guys get out there and work, they understand what's expected. They understand the system. I think they see the benefits, especially think about the guys on defense. You're going from Nick Saban's system, the best coach of all time, Kane Womack and company coming in, no disrespect, but they're kind of like, they're trying to figure it out, right? Like, yeah, they can say, oh, yeah, we like flying around, but still, I know as a player, you got to have trust in what your coach is calling, right? And I do know at some times last year, there was a disconnect between some of those guys and the coaches. That's just a fact. I think all that is looking to be a lot better this year, and I think that's going to benefit them as a team. I do think this team is going to shock some people. I think they're going to be a lot better than people anticipate. I know a lot of people look at last year, but they need to realize this team, I mean, I'm telling you, the wide receiver room is going to be a huge strength. The defensive back room is a huge strength. Linebacker play should be solid once they kind of get back, going with Deontay Lawson back in there. The guys up front, it looks like it's going to be another year where you don't really have that elite play, but there's some guys that are young that are stepping up, like, Jeremiah Beeman, I think Edric, those guys are going to provide some meaningful depth and maybe get some more opportunities, Jordan Renaud. And I say all this to say, I mean, if you look at the SEC, I think we're kind of in a league right now where just everybody's around that same. I feel like Georgia, they don't look to be as dominant as they've been. Texas is probably going to be solid, but I would throw South Carolina looking like a really good team. I mean, A&M looks solid. LSU, obviously, with the additions that they brought in, you get what I mean? Like, I think this year is going to be an interesting year. Ole Miss too, right? Everybody's kind of in that same ballpark, in my opinion. But I think what separates us is the skill guys that we have. The quarterback, in my opinion, if he can just protect the football, distribute the football, let Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Horton, those guys make plays. If we establish a running game, the offensive line can finally protect and secure whoever it is that quarterback, and defense builds off of what they did last year. I do believe this team will be one of the better teams in the SEC. Now, will they be the best?
Well,
I don't know.
I love and respect your opinion, but
Thank you.
There's no separation with Alabama from anybody else right now. There isn't. I know you're around the program and you've seen guys, but listen, right now, the SEC, just watch this, the word that we're going to use as far as the conference is concerned is parity. This is the most parity that we probably have seen in the SEC in a lot of years.
Yeah.
This is a year that I can't wait to see in July when we get down to SEC media days and what the media are going to say, and I think it's going to be Texas and Georgia now that it's going to be the top two teams looked at from the outside world. And then there's going to be that next group. I think, Texas, they recruit well. They got a lot of money. They saw what Ohio State just did for buying the championship. They're going to do the same thing. They got plenty of oil money. They're going to spend it. They're going to get players. So to me, Texas, Georgia's going to be kind of in that fold. And then you're going to have Alabama. You're going to have the South Carolina and Ole Miss. I'm going to group them guys in there together. You're going to have, I think, some other teams that's going to be pretty good. I mean, the Missouris of the world. I think watch out for Florida. Florida's going to be a team that's they looked pretty good last year at the end. They recruited well. They plug and play with transfer guys. So I think I don't think there's anybody really that's above anybody, even with Texas and Georgia. But I think the outside world's going to look at them. Well, maybe it's a half yard, maybe based on their money and based on what they've had. They know they got players everywhere. But Alabama, what knocks them down is the quarterback position.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
If Jalen Milroe was there, we had confidence in the trigger man that has, receipts coming back. Then you might say with all those pieces that you talked about, all of those frisbee catching dogs on that wide receiver that you just alluded to. Yeah, I can see that. But the problem is they don't have a trigger man. Now, to date, they don't have a guy that anybody can say. I don't care what the callers after your show and especially the callers on your afternoon show, all them group of chapstickers come on and tell you and rave about. They don't have nothing to date. All they got is hope. All they got is, I hope this guy turns out. And if he don't, we hope Keelan Russell steps in and be that dude that we've seen in the YouTube videos. That's all they got at the quarterback position to date. Now, if that quarterback position turns out to be really good, then during the season we see that there's going to be a different conversation, because to me that is the missing part. And any coach will tell you, going into a season without a proven quarterback, your season is it hangs in the balance, so to speak, because you don't know what you're going to get. And that's unfortunately where Alabama is, because they don't have that guy. Last year, they had Milroe. They had a Ferrari back there. They had a dude that can do so many things. And unfortunately, they just didn't have a coach that could call plays that could maximize his ability. That hurt this team offensively. They didn't have a coach that understood that they had some bell cows behind or in the backfield alongside Jalen Milroe that can tote the rock, as we say here in the South in the country. They didn't. So to me, that's why I give the coaches, I give the board a D, because they failed in that area, because that talent was still good enough to win 9 games. But that talent also was good enough probably to win 11 games, 12 games perhaps.
Yeah, but are you saying that off of hindsight now? Because I do remember now we did acknowledge that the talent on this roster was. I'm saying, because the talent on this roster, we did acknowledge last year it wasn't where it might have been in years past. We did agree on that. Now I do agree with you that was it still good enough to get more wins? And we saw that. Yeah, I mean they should have beat Vanderbilt.
Look at it too. I'm giving them. I'm going to give them +2 wins, beating Vanderbilt and beat Michigan. That's 11 wins, right there.
Yeah, fair.
2 teams that you better than, you have more talent than.
Yeah, especially with the guys. Well, you include the guys sitting out for Michigan. I mean, it's definitely a fact. Would argue.
Yeah, that's 11 games right there. Because if you win 11, I'm not saying the same thing, because 11 wins is 11 wins.
But how much of it do you give a little bit of a how much grace do you give for it being year one under Kalen DeBoer, whole new regime? Now, and then think about this: a number of guys hit the portal before. I mean, he had to get in, get the ground. He didn't even really have time to really get a recruiting. You get what I'm saying? Like, he kind of got started late. Remember, Coach Saban retired in February? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it was a little late.
Hey, Chase, you remember what I said? I wrapped that question up in the bowl before the season last year for our listeners.
Yeah, I remember.
I used the word grace. Would y'all be willing to remember that, Chase?
Yeah, and it's kind of like you were willing to give him grace, I thought.
I am giving him grace.
Nah, throwing a D out there is not grace, man. Look, I listen. If you said C,
I gotta give you a D.
Look, if you said C minus or something, I'm like, I totally understand that. The Vanderbilt, the Oklahoma, the Fresno, then finishing with Michigan.
Even that beer drinking Willie could have went out there and just say, "Hey, let me borrow your playbook, run this and run. You're gonna win 9 games with that talent." I'm sorry. I mean, listen.
Blitz, Bama blitz.
Right?
That's what Willie would have been calling.
Listen, man. I'm giving him grace because I'm saying to you that he needs to. Here's what, don't make the same mistake. That's what grace is. That's what our Heavenly Father does for us.
Amen.
We live, we sin, we fall short, we make mistakes. When grace says, okay, like a mulligan in golf, I hit the ball, yank it left or right in the woods, and then no, you know what, I'm going to take a mulligan, which means this don't even count. That last shot don't count. So I'm giving him that. So now that season, we still talk about it, right? We still say, well, why this turned out the way it did? Make your changes. Keep Willie away from your program. Keep podcasters away from your program. Don't feel like you got to talk to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that wants to come over to the complex because they don't care about you. They care about getting their clicks. They care about getting their numbers. They don't care about the program. Focus on, tell them guys, no. We got a standard here. The standard is we be on meetings on time. Matter of fact, you be at the meetings early, right? We're going to identify real leaders, guys that understand. Nick Saban has laid the foundation, the groundwork, and we know about building a home, a house. If you build your house on sand, every storm and every ounce of wind is going to blow it down. But if that foundation is built on a rock solid foundation, when those troubles come, when the wind blows, when opposition happens, when injuries happen, when things that foundation don't crumble. They got to get back to the foundation that Nick had. That foundation of the process. We do things a different way. And guess what? We expect excellence from every phase. Offensively, defensively, special teams. Oh, by the way, a strength coach, excellence. Right? Nutrition, excellent. Support staff, excellent. In whatever area, if you're affiliated with that football team, there is an expectation or a demand for you to be excellent. They got to get back to that. They have lost that. And if you talk to people, which I do, that's affiliated with all these different programs, coaches, to the people that know this game that I have hired, this is what they say about Alabama. There used to be a fear of Alabama. When you used to roll the A out that script, there used to be something that makes you, kind of shake in your boots, so to speak. It used to be David versus Goliath, and them soldiers were shaking in their boots when they saw Goliath, right? He was walking murderous straight. Oh, I'm gonna take your head. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna roll. That's what Alabama used, the big bad Derrick Henrys and the Bo Scarboroughs, them big physical imposing offensive and defensive linemen, and all they look at you and be like, oh yeah, we get ready to get that, and then people are shake. But now when Alabama comes out, you know what they say? They just like everybody else. There's no difference anymore. There's no stigma anymore. If I'm Kellen DeBoer, we got to get that back. We got to get the mystique back. We got to get that where people respect and understand. Don't tell me about, we got 18 trophies and rings and going that. Yeah, that's beautiful and nice. But as the great Janet Jackson said, Chase, what have you done for me lately? And what they have done is lost to Vanderbilt and lost to Michigan where half their starters didn't even play. Got out physical by a team that you were much better than, right? Got beat by an Oklahoma team. Got embarrassed, got dominated in the trenches by a team that was average to below average. That's what they have done lately. That's what stands out in the memory of the people that look at Alabama. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. He has to change that. And, nice guys are good. I want nice guys. I love Christian guys. But listen, I'm a Christian. I'm a preacher. But guess what? I ain't going to be no punk. It ain't going to be soft. I love the Lord, but I'll put these hands on you. If you step to me the wrong way, there's such thing as righteous anger. Jesus took over the
Chase. What are we going to do with him, Chase?
I know,
If you step to me the right way, I'm going to put these things on you, and I'm going to try to break your chest cavity when I come off this football. And as Reggie White used to tell him, and he used to tell out offensive tackle, Jumbo Elliott and Doug Riesenberg, when he humped them 18 yards rushing the passer, he handed them, offer a hand up and tell them this. Jesus loves you. That's what he would tell them as he ripped them apart. Alabama got to get back to being Alabama. That's all I'm saying. If you want somebody to come and talk to your team, you're listening to them right now. You want somebody to come in that room that'll tell you the truth, you listen to them right now and get rid of the Roll Tide Willies and all these sharp-sticking reporters and radio people that all they want to do is take a picture of you and, I shook his hand. I touched, I rub elbows with. No. I'm going to tell you the truth. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you poop, if it stinks, it stinks. If it's cloudy and look like it's going to be a storm, they need to hear there's going to be a storm and take cover. They need to hear the truth and get back to Nick Saban, get back to the dude that built a dynasty that everybody in the world respected. Right now, nobody respects Alabama like that. I ain't talking about to the last 2 decades. I'm talking about today, May 16th. There's a different kind of respect for Alabama, and that's real. I know a lot of you callers may not like hearing that, but listen, it's the truth. And I close with this. I told the people at my church, you might not like what I'm saying. You can say amen or you can say ouch. Because your feet, probably you got your coons curled up in your shoes when you hear that truth. When the gospel hits you, woo, ouch, Lord, ouch, Lord. He's talking to me. Ouch, Lord. You got to say amen or you got to say ouch.
Wow. I mean, that's a good message. I'll give you that, man. With that being said, the pastor has spoken. You guys heard the man. Like he said, you can either say amen or ouch, or you can dial us up 205-342-9904. And you can respond. I'm curious what everybody's got to say about that. He just dropped a whole bombshell on us. So, or you can always respond here in the YouTube chat, at message, all that good stuff. We want to get y'all's response. We want to discuss it coming up hour number 2. Appreciate you hopping on with us, man. Been a long time, but we'll start getting you back on.
I'm gonna get back to the football season. I'm gonna be on every week. I'm making a plan. I'm getting them all podcast stuff. I'm getting somebody that we're gonna pay to build that for me right there in my office. All right,
let's do it. I'm gonna hold you to it. You see me? I got the setup. I got a nice background. We got it going now, man.
I got a few dollars. Brother got a few dollars now to buy a real microphone. Hallelujah.
There we go. Hallelujah.
Later.
All right. Yes, sir. Later. See ya. Love you, man. Later. All right, good deal. We got to hit this top of the hour break. When we come back, we respond to the Pastor Payne right here, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. This is the Miller's Edge, presented by the Good Feet Store. We'll be right back.
WTBC.
Oh man! All right, you guys know the drill. It's time to respond now. Man, we didn't even get into any NFL talk. Doesn't matter. That was good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed as much as you can. I know he's definitely harsh. He's tough, but to be fair, I mean, there's a lot of truth in a lot of the stuff he says. He just the way he goes about it, man. Yeah, Q, I'm sorry. I definitely would. Q, if you want to dial us back up, man, I'd love to get your response. I know we, let's see. I think we might have had one more. But, yeah, if I want to go ahead and dial us up, 205-342-9904 is the number. All right, cool. You're still on hold. Yeah, man. Yeah, I had to get him on here because we hadn't even talked Alabama. That's why I was saying I needed to fill him in because I know he hadn't really been keeping up with it. He's been so busy. But I'm telling you, we're going to shock some people. Now, I do agree with him. That's what I was saying before he even made the comment about the parity in the league right now. I don't really think anybody's separated from anything. I know last year we were like, I think maybe Georgia, Texas. Even this year, I don't even think those guys are really ahead of it. And I think everybody's kind of lumped around that same, I guess, talent level, in my opinion. I knew he was going to bring up the quarterback thing. That's what everybody right now, that's the hesitancy on us right now, is really that quarterback spot, which is normal. That's what I told you guys. I forgot who I was telling, but I was saying, like, a lot of people are going to be hesitant because of the quarterback. So, but Ty will be all right, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's really just because he doesn't have the receipts, man. I mean, I've seen the guy in practice and seen him in, various settings. The dude can play. I mean, how would I rank him among all the other SEC quarterbacks? Tough to say without seeing him really in like full-time action, but I think he's more than capable. I think that's what I would say. Yeah, it is a big year, Mike. Not only that, with us losing a lot of starters, but I always say this. I mean, just like he just was saying that Mystique is kind of, it's been fading. which it already kind of was fading before. Let's just call a spade a spade. It was already fading before DeBoer even got here, right? You go back to 2022, losing to Tennessee, losing to LSU. Obviously, 23 bounce back, get SEC championship, make the playoffs, but still, I mean, you could just sense it, right? There's a little bit of blood in the water. Having the season that we did last year didn't help. That's why I think year 2 is now even more critical, because if you're talking about continuing to have that, at least holding on to as much respect as you can, right? I think it's going to be really important. You go out there and have another 9-win season this year, man. I'm just going to tell you right now, man. Recruiting's going to be a little bit harder. I'm not saying we're still going to recruit well, but don't get me wrong, man. You get what I mean? Like right now, you still can kind of go off of, it's year 1 under a new coach. Everybody still is kind of, thinking about it like the stock market, right? Sometimes there's going to be moments where people are a little bit more eager to invest. Others, they get a little bit of panic. I feel like right now it's kind of like, we got a little bit of news. It's kind of like, we're still putting some stock in Bama. Being a little cautious though.
Lights on the roadside.
But yeah, definitely want to get y'all's thoughts on everything he was saying. Though you can drop in the comments here if you guys want to. We can read it live on air. What else are we gonna hit? You have a question, or you have a cousin who has questions about Gunner. Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't even think I don't. I'll be honest with you. I think he's all right, but from what I saw from him filling in for Carson Beck, it was not nearly enough for me to be like, oh yeah, they got a real guy there at quarterback. He could shock people. He could shock me, but I wouldn't. I'll be honest. I mean, I'd feel better about. I'd take Ty over him any day. Honestly. And that's the good thing is it's really just Ty hadn't really had the opportunity.
Social media pages.
You know what I mean? Like, I also get right. Like, oh, well, he hadn't been able to beat Milroe out, but I mean, Milroe is different. He's a special type of a player, man. Just offers something different. But the good thing is,
PPY accessibility.
Ty is more of like he just hadn't had that opportunity. It's not like, hey, the guy they got coming back is just not good. No, it's like he said, a question mark because you haven't really gotten to see him in that full-time spot. So that's the good news about
buy my
the
first
uncertainty.
house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very warm afternoon, partly sunny, the high 88. Increasingly cloudy tonight, the chance of a thunderstorm after midnight, the low at 70. Tomorrow, the chance of a morning storm and a few additional scattered storms could form by afternoon, the high 86. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 82 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. We just finished talking with the pastor of Payne, a.k.a. my dad, former Carolina Gamecock, New York Giants linebacker, and obviously very outspoken college football analyst. Got his thoughts on Alabama football. Really, I was asking about South Carolina, Alabama, that game, and it just turned into a whole 30-minute back and forth, which a lot of people seem to be very entertained by that. That's kind of what this show was built on, me and him going back and forth. So definitely a lot of nostalgia there. Obviously, I had to give him pushback. He had some strong opinions. But to be fair, I mean, if you really listen and you put your guard down a little bit, you'll understand that there is some truth to what he says. He does it in a very strong fashion. But I'm still, you guys know me, I'm always going to defend our guys and give some pushback. But I'm not going to deny everything he says, because there is some truth, a lot of truth, I should say, to it. It's just kind of a hard truth. But that being said, I'm curious to get y'all's thoughts on it. 205-342-9904 is the number. Plus, you guys can always drop us an ad message on that Tide 100.9 app or leave it in the comments and we can respond to it right here as well. Let's go to the phone lines, Chase. First up, we do have Marty, I believe. Is Marty still there?
You there, Marty?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Marty, sorry about that. Appreciate you waiting, man.
That's okay. Hey, your dad's just getting ready for Sunday sermon. That's all.
That's exactly right. He's warming himself up.
No, but hey, he's right. You know, we had Haynes and that, and we did not use him the right. You know, I mean, run it.
Yeah.
Don't go on first down, mess up, and then you're 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 15 because you get sacked. Run the football, get 3 or 4 yards, and you have 2nd and 6. Maybe throw a short pass, then you got 2nd and 2, and you can run it. I don't know. I mean, your dad's right on, and he's right about the quarterback. We had hope. We got hope back there. We don't have no quarterback. We got hope 1, hope 2, and hope 3.
Yeah, no, that's true. And it's like you said. I mean, it's you don't know, right? It doesn't mean they're not going to be a solid, really good quarterback. You just don't know. Yeah.
I mean, expectations for Alabama are so high by their fans. You know, we got to come down a little bit. That is where, you know. But I'm like your dad. 9 wins, 3 9-year. Well, I don't know how to say that. My case is not doing
3
right.
9-win
If he only
season.
wins 9 years in a row, he won't be there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, the expectation, like you said.
But he'll be on the hot seat burning. I mean, it's not saving. You know, even Bear Bryant set it so high that you can look like Bill Curry. Curry could have stayed if he didn't lose to Auburn that last year and then lose to Miami. He lost those 2 last games. And another thing, too, like you said, Tulane got out, Georgia Tech. Another thing that hurt Alabama during that time was when Bear Bryant had to sue the Atlanta Constitutional for $300,000. That's why everybody hates Georgia Tech, because that was a big game back in the day. But I don't want to, you know, don't forget we got to pick our games. How many they're going to win, who they're going to lose to for lunch. I was coming down, but they were calling for rain, and I don't know if they'd be playing baseball or not. So, plus I had to get.
Well, don't worry. We can still play. We can play that. I did come up with mine. I'm not 100% set on it, but I'll go ahead and do it with you, Marty.
Come out and I'm going to talk to some of my expertise guys that know football a little bit better than me. But your dad, instead of preaching, he needs to become a head coach somewhere, and he can do like that one coach did, win about 5 state championships.
Hey, man, you know, he took a run at coaching with an arena football team back in Columbia years ago, man. I'm just going to say this. They didn't do too hot, but he actually ended up fooling around and suiting up and playing quarterback one game. So that just kind of goes to show you that league was very interesting. No, but you're right. No, you're right, though. I think if he took like an actual high school team, like a small college or something, I think he could be. That league was very.
He get on a good high school, the highest classification there, and do that. He could win. He gets them kids. He's been just like this one coach. They hadn't won nothing in 3 years. He asked all the seniors. He just took the seniors in the room. He said, "Write down what you want to do your last year." They said, "We want to beat the one team we never beat and get to the playoffs and try to win the state championship." He got those seniors believing. There were 12 of them out of the 12 out of the 42 that won the team. And in Class 4A, they won the state championship that year. And that team's been on a run since with that coach.
Dang.
I mean, I know a lot of good coaches. I know, you know, it's believe it. And just like what your dad said, I mean, the board did have to win the team. Like you said, he come in late. He couldn't beat, you know, he wasn't saving. And it's almost like, you know what? When you had a substitute teacher, you took that You went up there and took your claws and scratched the blackboard back in the day on the blackboard. You did everything you could because that substitute wasn't going to send you to the office. She didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But that real teacher paddle out and send you down to principal.
That's true.
You know, that's like that. Saban wasn't there, and he let the chain up a little bit, and some players took advantage of it.
Yeah.
When you agree or not?
No, I do, and I'm just being completely transparent. I mean, there were times that you could see that there was a little bit of a, I wouldn't necessarily say I wouldn't necessarily say they weren't seeing eye to eye, but I could just tell that some guys didn't necessarily align exactly with what they weren't buying in 100%. I'm not saying everybody, but I just feel like there was a lack of buying at the 100% level. I'm not saying that, they didn't respect the coaches, but to be fair, I mean, when you go from having Nick Saban as your head coach or even working, think about Coach Saban working with the DBs, and now you bring in, and again, no disrespect to the guys who brought in, I think they're really good coaches, but it's just quite the difference. I mean, the guy comes from South Alabama, Buffalo. It's just different. Those guys are going to have to earn these players' respect. That's just a fact. And I'm just speaking from experience because I played the game for a while, and I know the player-coach relationship, and it's really important. And if it's not at its peak or it's not as smooth as it should be, you're going to see that take place. That's going to show up when the games are taking place, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you 3 questions real quick, then I'm going to get off.
Yeah.
The running back room, will be pretty solid there.
You said the running back room will be. I'm sorry, I missed what you said, Marty. What about the running back room?
Are we pretty solid there?
Are we pretty solid there? I would say this. Look, I really like Jam Miller. I mean, you know what you're getting out of him. I mean, he's been a very productive player here. I mean, he's kind of a do it all 3-down back. I mean, he can protect, which is really important. Obviously, he can run the ball. He can catch the ball in the backfield. I really like Jam. His counterpart, that's going to be interesting. I mean, Richard Young, I think, has a lot of potential, but I think Daniel Hill is really kind of climbing up and catching the attention of the coaches. But even just naming those 3 guys, I like that room. I don't know too much about the guy that transferred in, Dre Washington, but I would say we should be solid. Are we solid there? Yes. Are we is stacked from just like a standpoint of, oh man, it's one of those years where we got back after back after back. I don't know if I would necessarily say that, but I think we do have at least 2 or 3 really good players in that running back room.
Okay. Well, the baseball team, we got to find a pitcher that can go about 7 innings today, so we don't go with that reliever. And number 2, all right, 2 others, but one's going to be an NFL question, and we won't talk about it. We'll wait till Monday. I wanted to ask you about that trade of that wide receiver from Pittsburgh to Dallas.
Pickens.
Yeah, I want to know a little. We'll talk about that Monday later, a little NFL. But you think the Boston Celtics can hit 23s tonight?
If you're asking for some gambling advice, I don't want to. I'm just playing. That's a really good question. That's tough to say, man. Basketball is one of those things, Marty, where I mean, like, they can come out hot, they can come out cold. I don't know. I did just watch Indiana a couple days ago. I mean, they were shooting the lights out the gym. I know it's a totally different team, but what I'm getting at is you just never really know with that.
Yeah, they just can't blow no lead. They shot the lights out the other night, but that was on their home court. So Madison Square Garden's a different place to play basketball. It
is. I mean, you don't have Jason Tatum in there, but I think it's possible. But like I said, basketball, it's tough, man. Yeah, you got me curious now. I'm gonna watch just to see if they hit those 23s. Marty, we appreciate you, man.
All right. Hey, have a good weekend. I'll yell at you Monday. I got some stuff written down that I had, but your dad got off on this, and I want to talk about a little. I mean, he's right. I mean, it's a hope. But, I mean, every season you go into, you can say, hey, we're going to win 9 games. You can say, all right, there's 9. It's almost like in baseball. You win 62 games, you lose 62 games, it's the middle games that set you apart in a 162 game season.
Yeah.
And it's like football. You win. You can circle some teams that you should win. There's some that you think you're going to lose, and then there's the middle ones that you can flip a coin because you're dead even with them. And it's who makes them, like your dad said, who makes the mistakes in injury. One injury, that's like at South Carolina. If they lose the quarterback at the beginning of the year, their season could be on the way down. So, I mean, there's, you know, don't play a lot of part in this with this, you know, and how many freshmen can step up?
Yeah.
You got to depend on those freshmen coming in.
That's a good point. You're spot on, Marty. Well, you have a great weekend, man. I'll definitely look forward to talking next week.
You too. I'll get you Monday.
Yes, sir. That sounds good. Good deal. All right. We got to hit a break when we come back. Q06, if you're still there, man, we're coming right to you. I want to hear your response to what the Pastor Payne had to say. If not, we'll keep on rolling. And you guys, anybody else wants to get on the phone lines, 205-342-9904. Plus, you can always leave some @ messages as well. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
Don't buy your new or pre-owned Mercedes.
All right. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to leave the ads playing. But if you got any questions in the meantime or anything you want to drop in the comments, I'll check those and be on the lookout.
From our home base in Birmingham, Alabama,
we are here
treating patients from every generation
across the United States
and from around the world.
We're here for the rookies
And the dreamers,
trying to make a name for themselves.
we are here for the achievers.
Who are resilient
And won't take no for an answer. We're here for the coaches,
athletic trainers, and mentors who are shaping the next generation of legends. We are here for you, aggressively pursuing
victory over injury.
Learn more at andrewsportsmedicine.com.
Remember the 1970s? A lot has changed, but one thing has not changed: Washington's regulations on local stations. Regulations that make it tough for local TV and radio stations to compete with global big tech platforms. If you want to keep local news and live sports on TV and radio, we need updated regulations. Tell Washington to modernize the rules to help local stations compete. Learn more at nab.org/modernize the rules. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
It happens more than you think. A customer wants, needs the goods and services your business offers. No matter how hard they try, they can't find you, but they find your competitor right there at the top of the results page.
And even if they do find your website, when they click, it's like a ghost town.
Hello?
Outdated, not compelling, and perhaps worse, it has information that's not accurate.
Y2K?
But how do you fix that? At Town Square Interactive, we have the tools to help you maximize your online presence. Just go to mylocalcustomers.com and start by getting a free local customer analysis.
This online tool will show you just how many customers in your area you could be reaching. To get in front of those customers, we will build a premium website for your business.
One that shows up well in web searches and converts website clicks into phone calls, appointments, and foot traffic.
It's simple, it's fast, and it's affordable. Go to mylocalcustomers.com and get started by getting your free local customer analysis today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free. with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-960-3377. That's 800-960-3377. 800-960-3377.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very warm afternoon, partly sunny, the high 88. Increasingly cloudy tonight, the chance of a thunderstorm after midnight, the low at 70. Tomorrow, the chance of a morning storm, and a few additional scattered storms could form by afternoon, the high 86. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 83 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope everybody is doing well. Let's jump right back into it. Chase, do we still have Q on the phone lines?
Yes, we do.
All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and talk to our buddy Q06. Q, welcome in.
¿Qué onda? ¿Qué tal, man? How you doing, brother?
¿Qué onda, güey? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos.
Hey, shout out to Mimi and Mike, man. They giving some good comments on your little on YouTube in there, man. Shout out to those two, man, and all the others. It sounded like Marty was ready to say amen to the Pastor Payne's little comments there. I got to put him down for a minute. David Coach a D. Did he really give a D? I mean, Corey. Christian. Did I hear that right?
You heard that right. I didn't agree with it, but that's what he gave him. Yeah.
Gave him a D, but hey, at least you admitted to being a chapsticker on the receiver.
Hey! I didn't admit B. I said maybe I'm leaning towards it a little bit, just a little bit, but not fully.
He said a lot, man. I mean, obviously, it looks like that he's a little bit. Obviously, he's always going to be on the South Carolina bandwagon, but I think he was kind of hurt that Alabama didn't do as good as they were supposed to last year. Deep down, Corey is hurt. His feelings were kind of hurt because he thought they were going to play a lot better. Yeah. He played that down all year long. They're going to go 8-4. They're not going to do well. But deep down, he wanted to see Coach DeBoer succeed and do well. And I think that's why he throws that whole substitute teacher thing out there. But I think we're going to be a lot better.
Yeah, I do too. And I was just going to say, I think what people got to understand is, I mean, like, yeah, he's a Gamecock, but like, you know, he supports Alabama. I played here. He spent a lot of time coming to the games, 5 years of being down here all the time. I mean, he was, really close with a lot of the coaches. I mean, he's really bought into the program. And I think for somebody like him, who is passionate about the game of football, and now he's passionate about coach, y'all know him. He loves Coach Saban. I think it kind of hurt him to see, some of the shortcomings, because he knows, like he just mentioned, like the reasons for some of that, and he felt that could have been handled a little bit differently. So that's where it comes from. So you're right. It's really because he cares, man. He's really passionate about the game, and he does really like Alabama. Obviously, he's Gamecock first because that's where he played, but he definitely does have some Crimson blood in there as well.
I think everybody, though, is always afraid of change. When you have a change like that, especially, we wasn't going to change the culture of what Nick Saban had did, because what did Coach DeBoer always say? I'll ask him. I'm not afraid to go to him. He wasn't afraid to put it out there, but he kind of separated himself whenever he started letting music get played in practice, and then open to the media, the coaches talking, and it's just really there was a lot of the culture that changed immediately. And I think that's why he's roping a little of it back in to understand that maybe he gave too much of a culture change to the guys and what Alabama was used to. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we'll see. I'm not hoping. I'm pretty confident we'll see a better season. But it is possible that Alabama is going to be not ranked up there with the best SEC teams. I mean, it's going to be some guys that's going to come play football this year. In the chat, we mentioned about Texas and Georgia. And I've seen Coach Georgia coach has had something negative to say about the NIL. I hadn't
Yeah.
really jumped into that yet, but I mean, I hadn't really, Anyway, Christian, that's all I want to say, man. I was kind of, I like the back to back with you two going at it. 33 minutes of pain is what I called it, man. Y'all going backwards and forwards and, giving each other a chance to make their own comments of it all. But let's just pump our brakes. I mean, we got some good receivers. We got to at least get the quarterback's going to get protected long enough to complete those passes because, I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing right there. And if we actually, what did Marty say? He said about the running backs. I think he mentioned a little bit about the running backs being able to actually produce this year. So we got a lot to look forward to. As far as basketball, I'm up here in Indianapolis, so you got the Pacers are winning. So, oh my God, these folks are just walking around cloud nine, excitement. Got the Indianapolis 500 going on today. I'm getting ready to go out here to Fast Friday. I mean, there's just a lot going on besides me loving my Alabama football. We live up here around pro sports. There's always something going on, Christian. Always.
Oh, I bet. No, that's a good area, man. I had a joint practice up in Indianapolis a couple years ago. We were going against the Colts before we played them in a preseason game, and it's a cool little area. Now, obviously, I've been up there for the combine, right? That was probably my first time I think going up there, but no, it's definitely a pretty cool area. And I don't know if you've been to like the Colts practice facilities and stuff, but it's really interesting, like the setup
it's
of it.
It's 7 minutes from my house. I drive past it every day. 7 minutes.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's like it's interesting. Like you got
I go.
Oh yeah, it was like the setup though was weird to me. I think it's like they got like the indoor area, then you got to walk a decent little bit to get to the practice fields. I don't know, it just was different. But I guess the Panthers was like that too. We had to but all our stuff was in the stadium, so we did everything in the stadium. Then we walked over to our practice fields, which was like right there as well. So I guess it's kind of I don't know, but I just remember being up there and I thought it was interesting. But yeah, it's cool little.
Hey,
cool
look,
little
man, I'm liking the visual of us just having to be able to talk on YouTube. I know a lot of people have not jumped on there. If you're listening right now, come on in the chat, man. It's fun. I mean, you really get to interact with Christian in a commercial break. Chase trying to get his own little show out there. Chase trying to put a little advertisement out there on there. Hope he's getting paid sponsor money for what he's talking about on there, but it's all good. Hey, real quick, Christian, for me, thanks for the suggestion on Hello Talk. Actually found me a good partner on Hello Talk, so that's actually helping me out.
Nice.
After all these years, don't laugh at me. I'm watching TikTok now, but just because of Spanish. You can learn a lot of content watching TikTok Spanish.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not a TikTok person.
No, but you're right. I mean, if you just follow like some accounts, there's like people that teach Spanish on there, or just people that are just Spanish speakers that do regular content. But yeah, man, there you go. You got a nice little game plan now. Hello Talk, watching some videos in Spanish, that'll definitely help you out. So let me know how it goes for you. I'm telling you, that's what I used.
Well, Tingo que irme. That means gotta go. Tingo que irme.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
guys. See you. Take care, man.
Yes, sir. Take care. Cuídate. All right. We got to hit a timeout. That was our buddy Q06. He's also learning Spanish, as you guys just heard him speaking a little bit. But like he said, man, shout out to the chat over on YouTube. If you guys want to hang out, you can see me do the show. You can see us when we pop up whatever we're watching or talking about. If you just want a visual, right, head on over to YouTube at The Miller's Edge. We're live. You guys can all have y'all's little, conversations and stuff going on in the chat. It's cool, man. Cool little vibe. So don't miss out on that. And if you're still listening on the radio, that's great, man. We definitely encourage you to do that too. But if you want to, change of gears, feel free. You're always welcome. All right, we got to hit a timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling. We got some ad messages to hit. Plus, we want to hear from Justin Jefferson, Alabama linebacker. Sat down with my my partner over at the Crimson Tide Sports Network, Roger Hoover. And so we'll hear what he has to say and more. All coming up right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
The Alabama Securities Commission protects you.
Ryan Day got 6 years. Y'all talking about giving our guy 3. I'll say this, Mike. It's not necessarily giving him 3. I just think with the standard here, obviously, the University of Alabama, we're going to have a higher standard than anywhere else. I think what we're saying is, if you see 2-3 seasons in a row with 9 wins, like my dad was saying, the University of South Carolina, that's excellent. But here, I just don't know. I mean, I'm curious. I mean, say, all right, let me ask you this, Mike. Say in 3 years, Kalen DeBoer won 9 games apiece each season. No more than 9 games in the first 3 seasons. Would you be, I guess, what would your stance be on that? Would you say give him 6? Would you be already looking to replace him? And let me preface by saying I love Coach DeBoer. I think he's going to be solid. I'm just saying hypothetically. I'm just curious from like a fan's perspective. Like, what would y'all's mindset be at that point? If we get to year 3 and we're still at the end of year 3, it's, the most we've had was 9 wins in the season. The reason I'm asking that, because I already know that I know the answer really is you guys will probably be ready to look for the next person. And maybe not. Mike said at least 5 years. Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, Greg Byrne really likes Kalen DeBoer, and I know Greg Byrne definitely is one of those guys where he wouldn't just be quick to try to look for the next guy. So, I mean, Kalen DeBoer will be here much longer than that unless, I don't know. I don't see him necessarily taking another job at the college level, maybe at the NFL level at some point, but I think he'll be here for a while. But I just know, I mean, we live in a microwave society. I mean, people want, results now. And I would just imagine, with our, I mean, hell, think about how our fan base was acting this year. It's year 1. Think about how everybody was reacting with 9 wins in year 1. I'm just imagining at the end of year 3, if that was, and I don't think that's the case, but if that were to happen, I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of people were looking to, I don't know, looking on to the next one. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Over at Brian Harding Construction. Located in the heart of Tuscaloosa, Brian Harding Construction is woman-owned and strong as steel, a specialty manufacturing firm with expertise in structural steel fabrication, ASME code piping and vessels, CNC machine work, welding, laser cutting, pipe fitting, industrial maintenance, and crane rentals. With a proven track record of over 30-plus years of experience, no one is better fit for the job. For an evaluation, contact Brian Harding Construction today at 205-752-9611. Again, that's Brian Harding Construction at 205-752-9611.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. All right, let's go ahead and hear from one of these hard-hitting guys that's a part of this defense here, Justin Jefferson. He sat down with Roger Hoover on the Crimson Drive, which is the show that Roger does, sits down with a number of student athletes here. But this week he had Justin Jefferson join him, and they discussed a number of things. So, Chase, do you have that pulled up, or do you want me to just run it from my end?
Either or is fine. I have it pulled up too.
Oh, I'll let you run it then. All right. Without further ado, yeah, that's perfect. Well, let's go ahead and hear from Alabama linebacker Justin Jefferson sitting down with Roger Hoover on the Crimson Drive.
Roll Tide and welcome back to Saban Field. We're inside the Advantage Center at our podcast studio. Roger Hoover now pleased to be joined by Alabama linebacker Justin Jefferson to talk football, of course, but also a little bit of NASCAR at the beginning of the show and just everything going on with you and the Crimson Tide. And Justin, it's great to have you back in this studio. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. It's great to be back.
Well, we're certainly excited for what's coming up for you and the Crimson Tide this year, but let's talk about what you just did in April at Talladega Super Speedway, getting to be around a NASCAR race. How special was that atmosphere for you?
It was very special. I have a long history of cars. I grew up watching cars. So it was very special being, especially in the infield, seeing all the RVs, like where they be partying. Like, it was just very special. I'm a car fanatic.
That's really good. So with that, you got to not only get to see that whole scene, but you guys met Austin Cindric, who won the race.
Yes, most definitely. That dude who drove us what'd you say his name was?
Austin Cindric.
Austin Cindric. Yes, I met him. He drove us around in the GT. Something I actually got at the crib. And so it was good, especially being on the embankment. I don't know if you ever know, but it's like embanked, like completely. So like on the turns, like you don't even got to turn the wheel. Like it's just straight. It's gonna turn you because it's in bank.
And he's going fast at that point too, right?
He was going all right. He wasn't giving it all the beans, but he was going pretty fast.
Did you feel it on your body though? I mean,
yeah, for sure. It can press you down like completely. It's all the G's. There's definitely some G forces being pulled in there.
Oh, that's really cool. So not only the experience going to go on the track, but how about some of the pit crew guys that you got to go around the Ford Performance Center, see the hauler, see the garage? How cool was all that stuff?
It was very cool. So I'm a Ford fan. So like I said, I got a Ford. So it was cool seeing that and being around the pit crews and stuff. Just seeing, especially the air guns, the little what they changed the tires with. It was just very cool. It was very, very cool.
And some of those guys, former football players. I'm sure they probably told you guys that you have to be a good athlete now to be on a pit crew.
Yeah, I seen that. It's definitely some pretty beef guys on there. We talked to one dude that used to play here.
That's really good. Does that make you think maybe you'd like to get in the cars down the road at some point?
I wouldn't say being in the pit crew or anything like that, but definitely like I don't know, because cars are getting more electric. I don't like electric cars. I like gas.
More old school that way.
Most definitely V8s. Most definitely.
Was that so? You had grown up really liking a lot of NASCAR cars, different things like that. Some of your teammates, maybe that was the first time they've seen anything like that. What was their reaction?
Shoot, the people that their reaction was just like, "What am I looking at? I'm looking at a NASCAR, I guess." Like, so they really didn't have no reaction towards it. It was just they cool guys looking at it.
Yeah, and I'm sure they enjoyed getting to see Alabama football players, and to have so many different players out there. Was that a fun shared experience, especially after spring ball's done?
Most definitely, it was a great team. It was great being out there with the guys. We throwing the football around with the fans, with each other. It was a great time to be out with the guys for sure.
So you'll definitely be back to NASCAR in the future.
Oh, I want to for sure. Shoot, I might, man. I'm telling you, I like cars. It might give me my own NASCAR and be a driver.
We'll see that. We look forward to that. Well, right now you're driving this defense for the Alabama Crimson Tide football team. Again, we spoke again about a year ago as you were getting ready for your second year with the Crimson Tide. Just, if you would, just walk us through last season from your perspective and how you feel like the year went.
I feel like the year went decent. I feel like we did all right as a defense. I feel like we definitely have more to improve on, stuff that we're going to do better this year.
Anything you're really proud of, some of the steps you took individually as a player a year ago?
Individually. I feel like I just feel like I'm just proud to be out there. You know what I'm saying? Of course, be up under them lights in the defense. You know, something a lot of people dream of, but I'm not satisfied nowhere near. I'm hungry for this year coming up.
What makes it fun to play in this style of defense, the swarm defense we always hear about with Coach Walnick?
It makes it extremely fun. You get to play in space. I love playing in space. I love running. And for me, being a fast guy, being able to run, being able to play free in that defense is wonderful. It's a blessing.
Yeah, I believe you had something like 60 tackles, some tackles for a loss, a couple sacks as well. Any individual plays you're pretty proud of?
Shoot, I definitely left a lot of meat on the bone for sure. I definitely had a couple good plays, but shoot, you seen my guy Hot? Oh my goodness, I was behind him. He had everything, man. He had some great plays, man.
Pretty happy with him for the NFL draft?
Oh, for sure. Eagles? More than happy. I'm very proud of that guy, man. It's been nothing but a blessing even being behind him and seeing, man. I think I was talking to somebody. I was doing an ESPN interview. It was like, anybody you look towards like one of the greats. I'm like, shoot, I do, like, you know what I'm saying? But I look at the guys that's doing it right here in front of me, like D-Line Jihad. Shoot, the E-Fo right here, he's doing first round. It's a blessing.
It's really cool to see that for him. And for Deontay, he was hoping to be, an early round draft pick this season, but unfortunately the injury at Oklahoma. What's it like knowing that he's coming back to help lead this defense this year?
Man, it's a blessing, man. One thing, D-Law is very consistent. He's very consistent. He's going to be D-Law, and I can't wait to be out there right beside him. Most definitely.
Yeah, you're going to get to be out there beside him. If we had done an interview in November, you probably didn't think you'd have a chance to be back for Alabama this year. You went through senior day and everything. But then there's been some litigation between different players in the NCAA, and now some JUCO players are getting the chance to have their fifth year of eligibility. When did you first hear about that would be an option for you to come back, and how easy was the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to come back to Alabama this year?
Man, it was Christmas Day.
No kidding.
It was Christmas Day. Coach Woe called me. It was like, man, hey, I didn't want to call you and tell you anything until I knew it was for real. But yeah, it would come back. And I just started crying because I knew what it was. Like there wasn't no doubt in my mind. It's coming back and going one more time. A little more experience, a little more audit. I feel like this time's gonna be real. It's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be pretty fun.
Best Christmas you've had then?
It was a pretty good Christmas for sure.
Well, that's certainly good for all Alabama fans. You making that decision. What'd you like about spring practice? How'd this football team get better the last few weeks?
I feel like we got better as a whole. I feel like we definitely grew tighter and tighter as a team. And I definitely feel like more guys understand. Like more guys are being pulled along on knowing the scheme and knowing what to do and knowing situationals. I feel like we have more depth. I feel like we really grew some depth and really grew some team bonding.
How strong is that linebacker room, especially some of the new guys that are brought in this year?
We're pretty. I'm confident if you put one through everybody in, I'm confident that we're gonna have some production out there for sure.
Put in some good work in the weight room too.
For sure, most definitely.
Do you really feel like that makes a difference, and like that's how teams get better? So it starts in the weight room.
I don't know. I just feel like Alabama's pretty blessed to have somebody like Coach Blue, because we definitely doing whatever he's doing. I feel like he's working.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good motivator, isn't he?
Most definitely. He's one of the best strength coach I've ever had.
That's
for
certainly
sure.
good. What's your focus going to be over the next few weeks into the summer before everything really starts back with the fall camp?
My focus is going to be on keeping in shape, keeping my head in the game, because we are on the off break. I'm coming up injured, so I'm really going hard. I'm really going hard physically, mentally. So soon we hit the summer, it's just going straight to fall camp, straight into Tallahassee.
That's certainly the plan. How much has the Jeff Allen, his athletic training staff, helped you come back from this injury?
100%. I don't. When my homeboys transfer, I'd be like, dog, like, what you gonna do? Like, especially if you get hurt, because I don't know what I'd do without them.
Absolutely, a lot of good resources here, right?
For sure, extremely top amount of resources. I talked to a lot of people. Like of course, we have a lot of people that hit the portal. Unfortunately, not this spring, but before. And some of them still my homeboys, and I talk to them, and they'll tell me every day, man, y'all got it good. Y'all got it good. We do.
And that even goes to the fan support too. I mean, you put out the message that you were coming back for your 5th year. I mean, the reaction you got on social media was huge. You heard from so many people, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing. I'm grateful to be back, and I'm grateful to be able to put on a good show for everyone.
Well, and the fan support here is unlike anything else. Do you love playing games in the stadium?
Most definitely. Brian Denny, oh yeah, for sure. Ain't nothing like it.
Oh, that's really good. We're going to see you in the video game coming up this summer?
What, man? I mean, not man, NCAA?
Yeah.
Of course.
Numbers going to go up, the strength and agility, speed, all that kind of stuff, tackling power.
Shoot, I can't control what they put on their game, but I can control what I do against Tallahassee. You know what I'm saying?
So you guys are already thinking Florida State right now.
I'm thinking this spring. Not this spring. I'm thinking this summer coming up, this break we have. I'm not too far ahead, but there's definitely somebody on the hit list,
Well, we're looking forward to what's coming up, not only fall camp, but then everything in the early weeks of the season, starting with the Seminoles in Tallahassee. Justin, thank you for joining us here at Saban Field, the Advantage Center, talking a little NASCAR, but also some Alabama football as well. Best of luck. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
And there you have it. Current Alabama linebacker Justin Jefferson sitting down with Roger Hoover. Man, that was a little tough for Roger, man. Roger's really good with that one, because I'm not gonna lie to you. Justin was keeping it just straight, short, concise. But you heard him, man. He's focused, he's not even looking ahead to Florida State right now. He said, I'm focused on the next thing, which is summer, which is coming up right around the corner, when they will get back to work here in Tuscaloosa after their short break that is quickly winding down. All right. Speaking of breaks, Chase, let's go ahead and hit this last break. When we come back, we'll go ahead and hit these ad messages that we got, and we'll close things out. It's been a fun free-for-all rider. Not done yet. Still got one more segment. So we're looking forward to knocking that out when we get back after this quick timeout. Right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, as well as YouTube at the Miller's Edge. We'll be right back. Let's see. All right. Maybe we'll just go ahead and this is playing. Let's just listen to this while we listen. We had a commercial break. Who is this? Isaiah Horton.
To fit that, or if that's being a tight end for one play, I'll do that, blocking whatever they need me at. That's where I feel like I can fit in this offense.
Do you like playing physical if you do slide over to tight end spot, blocking, getting in someone's face like that?
Yeah, if that's what they need me to do, then I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. So it seems like an offense, even going back to Coach DeBoer's staff's days at Washington, they're really.
Wait, hold on. Did I hear that right? I think Roger was responding to hold on one second. I think Roger was responding to him saying he'll play anywhere to help the team, but he just say sliding at tight end. Hold on.
Slide over to tight end spot, blocking, getting in someone's face like that.
Yeah, if that's what they need me to do, then I'm gonna do it.
Okay, yeah, okay. I was like, hold on, I know this dude's a bigger receiver, but tight end, hell no. Hold on.
He's off, and we're out there sharpening each other. Iron sharpens iron.
What have you liked about this offense so far, and specifically the role you can have in this offense?
Yeah, this offense is, it's a great offense. It attacks both parts, downfield, running. Our run game's amazing. And just where I fit in it, wherever they need me to fit at, where if that's being a tight end for one play, I'll do that block.
Okay. If they need me to be tight end for one play, okay.
Whatever they need me at.
I was like, hold on.
Do you like playing physical if you do?
And we're resemblance to, a play either.
He also said he's really impressed by when was this posted? 4-3. Spring ball is still going on. It's about a week and a half before A-Day. Hey, he said he was pleased with the running game. It's good news.
From where Coach Grubb came from, the Seattle Seahawks or Washington. So, both great players. You get to get look at DK and then Rome. So it's great. It's both.
What made those guys so special in that offense at Washington?
They just made plays. When it's time to make those critical moments, those downfield plays, they made them right when the team needed it.
Does it make it feel even more real, your dreams of playing in the NFL, when you are watching NFL tape and you're seeing, okay, I'm running the same routes as all these guys that Coach Grubb had a year ago with Seattle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
love Roger. I'm not gonna lie to you guys though, but one thing I will say, if I can help him out there,
for an answer.
Route trees are route trees. So I'll be honest. It's going to be consistent no matter really the team that you're on. Just so if you guys want to learn this, I don't know if you guys know this, but routes are routes, right? Sometimes they're numbered, right? Or names. Sometimes the verbiage changes, but routes are routes. Now you could have different, like route schemes, things like that, or more frequency. But really, again, there's only so many things you can do, right? You just rename them. But I love Roger, man. I get what he's saying though, but that's one thing I would say. There's not like Grubb is going to call different types of routes. Routes are routes, if that makes sense. Not to be a tool. I'm just helping you guys if you want to learn something.
It feels so real, but also like I'm prepared. I've been.
If you receive it,
I'm going to my fourth year now, and I'm confident. I'm prepared in it, and so yeah, it's just yeah, I'm ready for it.
You ready for the spring game? Are you ready for these next couple weeks to go by?
Yes, sir. Not to go by, but yeah. I'm ready for it.
For Alabama fans.
Yeah, it's gonna be real special. It's my first time playing in front of them, and I heard the fan base here is crazy. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of support. I've gotten it ever since I've been here. It's been nothing.
1,000 families.
Sorry, I'm just making sure we're not back on air on the radio. Let's see. All right, yeah, we got 20 seconds. All right, well. Hope you guys enjoyed that instead of a commercial break. We can break it down some more Monday. That's the cool thing is I've learned now. We can also, anytime I'm doing it, we can literally react live to these videos on
100.9.
Meaning, so instead of like with Chase playing it, I can just play it on my end. I can pause it, talk about it, and I think that'd be kind of cool too. Totally different from anything else on the radio. Obviously, people react online, but on the radio, it's totally different, man. So.
Afternoon, the high 86. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 86 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. You hear that Latin flavor on this Free For All Friday. Shout out to Chase behind the glass, but also shout out to R&R Cigars. If you guys are in the market for the best sticks, look no further than R&R Cigars. RNRcigars.com is the website. 20% off of any cigars. You see it right there. Plus, free shipping on orders $100 or more. And even better, if you're in town, you got to stop by the mansion. They've got the porch, wraparound porch TVs throughout. You can always go watch it inside, but they've got over 160 bourbons as well that you can pair up with those cigars. You can't beat it. You're not gonna find a place like this. R&R Cigars, man. If you're looking for a place to watch your favorite sporting events, boxing matches, they put those on. Football, basketball, baseball, you name it. Sports galore, sticks galore, best humidor in the Southeast. You can't beat it. R&R Cigars, 2703 Gary Fitz Street here in Tuscaloosa. The big white mansion on the corner. You can't miss it. Check them out, or always go to their website for these great deals. Again, 20% off of 20 cigars, or free shipping, and free shipping, $100 or more on those orders. That is R&R Cigars, the official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014. All right, Chase, it's time to hit some app messages. I think we got a couple in there. We'll close out on those. What we got?
Yeah, we got him from Cutie. He said, the pastor of pain back at it, LOL. I gave Kalen DeBoer a C grade last year. The Vandy, OU, and Michigan losses were awful losses that got him a C grade.
You know, I would probably give him C+. Maybe, depending on how much grace I'm giving for year one, B-. But again, and that's not me trying to be, rude. It's just me just being honest. I just know this program, the expectations, the standards, and I always just followed up by it's not the 3 losses themselves, it's the fashion and how we lost. That's what gives me a little bit more of makes me grade it a little bit harder, right? It'd be different if the 3 losses was like Georgia, Tennessee on the road. I know that's a tough place to play, and there may be one more, and they weren't in those fashions, but but the losses not being pretty losses, and really they were avoidable. You know what I mean? I have to probably be a little bit more harsh of a grader here. So I would say probably a C+. Honest, if I'm being transparent, I would say C+. But you guys know Pastor Payne, man. He's harsher than anybody I know when it comes to expectations and grades with that kind of stuff. So didn't shock me there. But I'm curious what y'all, we only got a few minutes left. I'm curious what y'all's grade would have been. I think we asked this a while back, but I forgot. Q and others in the chat, Tay, Brock, Mike, if you guys got any responses. Mimi, what y'all's grade last year was. I'd be curious to see those as we got just a few more minutes left. As I wait on those answers, Chase, what's that other app message in there?
I think that's it. We only had Cutie for today.
Oh, for some reason I thought I saw Tia on there. Maybe I'm tripping. Why did I think we had Tia on there? Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't see you say anything. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the other day. Anyway, all right. With that being said, I think that's fair. C, fair. Truthfully, Chase, without putting, okay, there you go. Thanks, Q. He says solid C. Just really, Chase, do you think you can give Kalen DeBoer and company a anything higher than a C without wearing crimson glasses? Oh, thank you, Mimi. Mimi says enjoying the show. Mimi, what was your grade for Kalen DeBoer and the team last year? Mimi's so sweet, man. She's not. She's gonna give him a good grade. Chase, what about you? What do you think is a fair grade for Kalen DeBoer and company last year?
I would range it around a C+. I don't know. I love you, Corey, but the grace was not being showed at all for Kalen DeBoer, and that hurts my heart as a pastor. But but yeah, C+. I don't to take that mantle and with the roster he had last year and to do what he could, I'd give him a round of applause. to replace Nick Saban of all people, like I don't think people realize how much weight that has. And then to replicate what he did and try to at least get it to a point of a consideration of the playoffs, that's astounding to me. And now that you can build off that and what this year will entail, a lot of people are I think it's going to be a higher grade than a C for this season.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, though, it should be a higher grade because we expect them to perform better. But I will remind you, Chase, there's not going to be as much grace because it also is year 2 now. So you got to keep that in mind. But I'm with you. I do think the grade will be higher. And I look, I don't think a C is like, it's not bad. I think it's fair. Honestly, I think that me saying, I'm not going to lie, B minus is too high. I can't give them quite a B minus. I'm trying to throw in there the fact that like I respect taking over for Coach Saban. I know it was no easy task given the limited amount of time and doing it. That's what made me give him a little bit of grace and bump it up just a little bit, looking at the whole picture, right? But I think C is fair. And like you said, C's get you degrees. Mimi says crimson glasses here, so probably not surprising my answer. Wait, what was your answer though? Oh, maybe she didn't drop it yet. I'll wait to get that. While we wait on that, we got to go ahead and do our closing because it is that time. I know this has been a really fun show today. Free for All Friday. We had the Pastor Payne on. Big thanks to him for joining. We'll make sure now that he's freed up, we'll start getting him on here at least a couple of times a week. That way we can get some more back and forth going. I'm going to call it a back and forth. I think you guys like that debate format, man. So we'll make sure we get him back on here. Plus, we'll make sure we get some more guests moving forward. But that being said, that'll do it for us here on this Free for All Friday. Appreciate everybody listening via radio, via the app, and of course here on the YouTube stream. Again, if you guys are just joining or you join late, don't forget we do go live on YouTube Monday through Friday, same time that we do the show. We do it simultaneously. So if you guys want to watch me do the show, you want to watch us put some interviews up. So we just listened to Roger Hoover sit down with Justin Jefferson. We were able to watch that on the YouTube stream. Plus, during commercial breaks, we can always discuss things with the chat. Just like Q was saying, you guys can interact with each other in the chat. So the goal is we want to keep building this, keep growing this, build us up a nice little YouTube family over here when we do the show. So make sure you guys check us out there. Plus, follow us on Twitter. Actually, it's called X now. At the Miller's Edge to stay up to date with everything. We've got a lot of stuff in the works, and we're looking forward to it. So appreciate everybody. As usual, up next, you got, I almost said Ryan, excuse me, new schedule. You got Wyatt coming up next, T-Town Sports Daily, right here, Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC, this has been the Miller's Edge, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. We'll see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend.